Living creatures in volcanoes might seem like an impossibility due to the intense heat of the lava, but surprisingly, many organisms call these fiery environments home. In this video, join me as I show you some of the weirdest things found inside volcanoes, and I bet you'll be surprised. Sharks. Among the unusual inhabitants of volcanoes are sharks, known for their presence in oceans worldwide. Recent discoveries have revealed that sharks also inhabit the depths of underwater volcanoes. One such volcano, Cavachi, located in the southwest Pacific Ocean near the Solomon Islands, has been active since its first recorded eruption in 1939, with the latest eruption occurring in January 2014. Cavachi is one of the most active underwater volcanoes, earning it the nickname Cavachi's Oven after a local sea god. Despite its activity, it is home to a unique group of sharks. In 2015, hammerhead sharks were filmed swimming inside the volcano, where the water is hot and acidic. Surprisingly, these sharks aren't in much danger. Even during an eruption, they can swim away quickly without harm. Scientists have found that living near an underwater volcano can be beneficial because it supplies nutrients to the surrounding area, helping maintain the ecosystem. Lobsters. Lobsters are already strange creatures, but this story from 100 years ago in Australia makes them even stranger. On a tiny island called Lord Howe Island, a British supply ship ran aground, and black rats from the ship began feasting on a bug native to the island known as the land lobster. By the 1930s, the land lobster was thought to be extinct. However, in 1964, climbers on a nearby volcano called Ball's Pyramid found an insect that looked like the legendary land lobster. Decades later, in 2001, researchers confirmed finding about 24 of these black insects in the volcano's mud. Today, there are only around 30 adult land lobsters left on Ball's Pyramid, making them one of the rarest insects on Earth. Researchers are trying to bring the land lobster population back, but it's tough because of the rats brought over by the British ships. Pyrococcus furiosus. Pyrococcus furiosus is not a magic spell. It is a tiny living organism. It thrives in extreme heat, known as a hyperthermophile. It was found on Volcano Island in Italy. To survive, it needs very hot temperatures. It can live in temperatures ranging from 70 to 130 degrees Celsius, which is 158 to 217 degrees Fahrenheit. Volcanoes emit nutrient-rich substances. These provide food for Pyrococcus furiosus. There may be millions or even billions of them in volcanoes. Their population doubles every 37 minutes. This makes them one of the fastest-growing organisms. Scientists are using them to create heat-resistant crops. These crops need less water, which is useful in dry regions. This tiny creature from volcanoes might help save many lives. How amazing is that, really? The fanged fish. The fanged fish, also known as the scaleless blackfish, is a small and peculiar fish that lives in warm, acidic waters near underwater volcanoes. It might look like a creature from nightmares, but this new species of fish is only about an inch long. It can sit right on your fingertip. That is, if you wanted it to, of course. An Australian research team recently discovered this fish, which is notable for its translucent fangs and tadpole-like body. The team also found other fish species thriving in these harsh waters, suggesting that larvae swept out from ocean nurseries can survive and grow around underwater volcanoes. The giant rat. A new species of giant rat was discovered a few years ago, living in the crater of an extinct volcano in Papua New Guinea. The giant rat was first caught on film by an infrared camera trap. BBC wildlife cameraman Gordon Buchanan set it up in the forest on the volcano's slopes. The BBC Natural History Unit expedition team recorded the rat moving around the forest floor. They were amazed by its size. They suspected it might be a species never recorded by science before. However, they needed a live specimen to confirm this. Trackers with the team eventually managed to trap a live rat. Known as the Bosavi woolly rat, this rat weighs almost 4 pounds and measures nearly 3 feet from nose to tail. It was found in an isolated ecosystem inside the volcano's crater, where animals have evolved without human interference. Tingmia arctica. Around 90 million years ago, a large aquatic bird died in what is now the Canadian Arctic. Named Tingmia arctica, the bird looked like a mix between a cormorant and a seagull. Discovered in 2016, the prehistoric bird Tingmia set new records as one of the oldest known birds in the Northern Hemisphere. Its discovery changed our understanding of ancient climates. Scientists used to think that even during a period of intense global warming, 89.8 million years ago, the Canadian Arctic still produced seasonal ice. However, Tingmia couldn't have lived in icy conditions because its features allowed it to dive for food, which wouldn't have been possible if there was ice. Further evidence from fossils and soil samples revealed that Tingmia lived in a hot, volcanic Arctic teeming with dinosaurs and reptiles. The volcanoes emitted large amounts of carbon dioxide, creating a greenhouse effect. This ancient ecosystem offers a glimpse into a potential future world too hot for Arctic ice. Galapagos land iguanas. Fernandina Island, the most active and pristine of the Galapagos volcanoes, is home to some of the most iconic and endangered species, like marine and land iguanas, flightless cormorants, penguins, and sea lions. These animals have adapted to live in this remote and challenging environment. Female land iguanas use the volcano's heat to their advantage. Each year, around 2,000 iguanas make a 10-day journey from the coast to the top of La Cumbre volcano. They then descend into the crater to lay their eggs in the warm ash, which is perfect for incubation. Despite the constant threat of eruptions and lava flows, the iguanas can often sense increased volcanic activity and move to safety just in time, showing their incredible ability to survive in such a harsh climate. A shrine. Near Mexico's Iztaccíhuatl volcano, there's a remarkable pond. When this beautiful pond was drained, a stone shrine was discovered inside. The Aztec architects designed this shrine so that when viewed through the pond's reflective surface, it looks like it's floating underwater. This shrine, called a Tetzacualco, is located at the foothills of the Iztaccíhuatl volcano and is part of the Nahualac archaeological site, dating back to AD 750–1150. Most artifacts found here, including pottery, rock fragments, and organic remains, are linked to Tlaloc, the Aztec rain god. Archaeologists believe the shrine's design reflects how the Aztecs imagined the universe, representing not just the stars, but also their mythical world. The entire site, with its valley and springs feeding the pond, may have been created to evoke the primordial waters from which the Aztecs believed all life originated. An outlaw's cave. In 2014, cave explorers in Snæfellsnes National Park in Iceland found an intriguing cave in the Neshrun lava field. Inside, they discovered old artifacts like a small fireplace, horse bones, and what might have been a bed. These remains are around 900 years old. Experts think someone probably hid in this cave during the 11th or 12th centuries, although their reasons for doing so are unclear. However, it's evident that this person disregarded the law. The horse bones suggest the animal was slaughtered for food, which is significant because horse meat became forbidden when Christianity was adopted in Iceland in AD 1000. The happy face spider. You think spiders are scary? How about spiders that live near volcanoes? The happy face spider from Hawaii is usually found in rainforests close to volcanoes. This spider gets its name from the unique, smiley, face-like pattern on its abdomen. These spiders live where the lava has cooled. Despite its cheerful appearance, this spider lives in a harsh environment. Volcanic regions can be tough, but the happy face spider has adapted well. They hide on the backs of leaves near the magma, waiting for flies to land before trapping them in webs. It's ironic that this fierce predator has a friendly, smiley face on its back. The super eruption of Volcano. In 2012, scientists took another look at an ancient super eruption in Italy. The Campi Flegrei volcano erupted massively around 39,000 years ago, the biggest eruption in Europe in 200,000 years. Scientists studied the Campanian ignimbrite, the vast ash fields left behind by the eruption. After examining 115 sites, they found that the eruption was even more enormous than previously thought. The volcano spewed out 250, 300 cubic kilometers, 60, 72 cubic miles of ash over an area of 3.7 million square kilometers, much more than earlier estimates. It also released 450 million kilograms, 990 million pounds, of sulfur dioxide, creating a toxic cloud that cooled the already cold Ice Age climate. This event likely contributed to the decline of Neanderthals and early humans in the eastern Mediterranean, forcing survivors to move away. The ash carried fluorine, which seeped into the plants consumed by these groups, potentially causing fluorosis. This ailment harms internal organs, teeth, and eyes. Microorganisms. Microorganisms thrive in extreme environments, from the icy North Pole to Death Valley's arid deserts. They exist even in the ocean's deepest reaches and near the Earth's core. One notable habitat for these tiny organisms is Yellowstone National Park's hot springs. Here, microorganisms like Clostridium paradox flourish thanks to their unique enzymes. Scientists believe studying these thermophiles could provide insights into surviving on other planets, such as Mars. Giant rings. Volcanic vortex rings are a rare and fascinating natural occurrence characterized by the emission of near-perfect circular formations of gas from a volcano under specific conditions. Mount Etna, in particular, is known to emit more of these rings than any other volcano on Earth. This phenomenon is caused by the continuous release of vapors and gases, leading to the rapid ascent of a gaseous mass through the central conduit. As the gas ascends, it promotes the formation of these intriguing rings by wrapping the gas upon itself in a vortex motion. According to Giuseppe Barbagallo, a member of the South Etna Alpine Guides group, the last occurrence of this mesmerizing event at Mount Etna was observed in December. A preserved forest. Around 300 million years ago, a volcanic eruption preserved a tropical forest in a frozen state, capturing it in time. In what's now Inner Mongolia, a once thriving area met its end under a thick layer of volcanic ash, nearly 100 centimeters, 39 inches, deep. Back then, Earth looked quite different, with only one massive continent called Pangaea. Despite being buried for ages, the plants discovered recently were remarkably well preserved, offering researchers a rare glimpse into the Permian-era ecosystem. While the ash layer wasn't enough to preserve standing trees, some toppled during the catastrophe and got buried in the ash. This unique scenario provided a detailed view of the forest's structure. The upper canopy was dominated by towering trees, around 25 meters, 82 feet tall, belonging to the Sigillaria and Chordates genera. Pink slug. Often dubbed the hot pink slug or neon pink slug, this vibrant creature resembles a flaming hot Cheeto come to life. Found in Sydney, Australia, these slugs call the slopes of volcanoes home. The Mount Kaputar slug is about 20 centimeters, 7.9 inches long. It wasn't studied much until 2013. That's when it was recognized as a new species. These pink slugs have evolved in isolation for a very long time. They are trapped near the top of the mountain like animals on an island. Because of this isolation, they have developed unique features. These features are unlike those of animals found elsewhere in the world. A volcanic eruption 17 million years ago on Mount Kaputar created a small, lush area of about 10 square kilometers, which remains wet and fertile amid Australia's desert area. Pink slugs spend most of their time buried beneath leaf mold, emerging in the hundreds at night or after rain showers to feed on tree moss. Although the unique ecological community that contains this slug is now protected, it survives in a delicate balance. A changing climate with increased temperatures could easily lead to its demise. The volcanic gastropod. It sounds like something from fiction, a snail with an iron shell that doesn't need to eat. The volcano snail, or Chrysomalin squamiferum, is a real creature. Also called the scalyfoot gastropod or sea pangolin, it lives in deep-sea hydrothermal vents in the Indian Ocean. It was discovered during a 2011 expedition by the RSS James Cook. The snail's biology is fascinating. Its shell has 3 layers. The outer layer is made of iron sulfides. This makes it the only known creature with such a shell. The middle layer is made of periostracum, an organic substance. The inner layer is aragonite, a mineral that can be a gemstone. The snail doesn't need to eat because of a symbiotic relationship with bacteria in its gut. The bacteria provide energy to the snail in exchange for a place to live. Lesser flamingo, present on the northern side of Tanzania's Old Donyo Lengai, is Lake Natron. This lake is famous for being very toxic. Even though it's harsh, Lake Natron is a haven for wildlife. 2 million lesser flamingos come here to breed and feed. The water often gets hotter than 40 degrees Celsius. It has high alkalinity due to sodium carbonate and minerals from nearby hills. This makes it tough for most life forms, but the lesser flamingo has special traits to survive here. It has tough skin and leg scales to protect against burns. Its nasal cavity helps it drink hot water and remove salt. The lake's harshness keeps predators away. Lesser flamingos build nests on small islands during the dry season. These islands give them access to algae-rich waters, their main food source. Volcano mouse. Scientists recently confirmed that a species of volcano-dwelling mice had earned the title of the highest living mammal in the world. Between 1970 and 1980, archaeologists climbed many volcanoes. They found mounds of rocks made by the Incas, who ruled South America until the early 16th century. They also found mummies from the Capacocha ceremony, which involved child sacrifices. Among these ruins, they noticed the remains of a few mice. They thought the Incas might have carried these rodents there. No one believed the mice arrived on their own. In 2011, on an Andean peak about 20,300 feet high, an anthropologist and a doctor found a naturally mummified mouse. 3 years later, they recorded one of these rodents among rocks and ice. In 2016, a climber saw a rodent hide in its den at Lulayako. This encounter made stewards and other biologists curious. Between 2020 and 2022, they climbed 24 Andean volcanoes in Chile, Bolivia, and Argentina. On 3 of these peaks, they found 13 dead rodents. These mice were found living on the peak of Lulayaco at just over 20,000 feet above sea level. Lulayaco, a huge volcano straddling the border of Argentina and Chile, is an inhospitable place with little vegetation, no rain, and temperatures as low as -75 degrees Fahrenheit. Volcano rabbits. Volcano rabbits have small, rounded ears, short legs, and a unique rounded body, weighing around 450 to 500 grams and measuring no more than 50 centimeters long. They have a lifespan of 7 to 9 years and possess short, dense, dark fur that helps them camouflage in their rocky habitats. These rabbits reside in the forests and grasslands around central volcanic belts, with 5 large populations in areas like Nevado de Toluca and the Popocatépetl National Park. Their natural predators include weasels, raptors, foxes, coyotes, and snakes. Teparingo's rabbits are most active during sunrise and sunset, living in family groups of 2 to 5 members, with males typically leading the group. Unlike other rabbits, they communicate through sounds. Physically, teparingos are considered primitive rabbits with unique features that set them apart. They are closely related to the red rock rabbit in South Africa and the amami rabbit in Japan. Baked rhino. In Turkey, a rhino fossil was found that probably fell victim to a volcanic eruption. The fossil is said to be about 9.2 million years old, and the ancient rhino's skull and jaw were found fully intact. As it turns out, the rhino probably got baked by the lava and was preserved until it was found by a group of archaeologists. And that was all for today. Which of these findings intrigued you the most, and which creature did you think was the craziest? And would you consider living near an active volcano? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.